everyone, welcome to Community Hours, Penpot Community Hours number 2. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Medet. I'm the Community and Events Lead here at Penpot. Based on the feedback from late last year, we've been going through ways to bring all of us together in a more cozy environment, and we decided to tackle certain topics to make sure these gatherings are insightful and then everyone gets something out of it. And that brought Penpot Community Hours to life. First edition, we covered what this year is going to look like for Penpot, and for this edition, we will have contribution in open source. Joining me today, we will have Elena, our software engineer, and we also have Juan joining us, all things design at Penpot. And you might recognize him from one of a few actually of the videos. And on today's agenda, we decided to start with giving a little bit of an overview on what open source culture looks like. What the fuss has been about it for years. And then Juan will take over and take us through design contributions, how design contribution in open source looks like, how we utilize it. And finally, we will have the one and only Elena taking the stage to take us through developer contributions in open source. After that, we will have a very relaxed Q&A session. Elena, let's get started. The stage is yours.
Thank you, Medet. So yeah, I'm gonna be introducing this community hour sessions, talking a bit about our culture overview. So we know that open source is more than a public GitHub repository, and for us, it's about fostering a strong community and work in the most transparent way possible, right? So open source is part of our culture, and it's important to us to engage with the community, listen to users and developers, and make contributions as easy as possible. So I'm going to give you a quick overview on how we aim to achieve to do that. First of all, I'm going to be talking about why contributions matter, and I've split it in two because for the project is great. Contributions bring diverse perspectives. It's really helpful to identify bugs, but also to suggest improvements and create a more robust and reliable solution. It also contributions drive innovation. They bring features. They enable the project to evolve and meet user needs and expectations. And also contributions help a lot to ensure that the project remains active and well maintained, right? But I wanted to say that it's also good for contributors. First of all, because it's a way to engage with a real world project, and that fosters confidence, and it's it gives you a deeper understanding of how certain software ecosystem work. It also it's a way of improving your skills, like coding skills, documentation skills, testing skills, collaboration skills as well. And you can do that by working on practical and real projects. And last but not least is also a good way of creating professional connections. It leads to recognition, visibility, and even, who knows, job opportunities. So to make contributions possible, for us, customization is key, and we want Penpot to be able to run anywhere, anytime. We want to give freedom to make easy to install Penpot in as many systems as possible, to do that as easy as possible locally, and to make it accessible to anyone. So that's why Penpot offers total freedom through self-hosted deployments. And also that leads us to being open, transparent. So that's very important for us to be to that, and contributors, users, or anyone interested in Penpot can easily access any kind of information, stay informed. And one thing that I wanted to highlight that I really like about Penpot is that there is no difference between our service, what we offer, and the self-hosted Penpot that you can install. So basically, what we offer is what we actually use. And finally, I mentioned that at the beginning. For us, is key to fostering a community. We, as you know, we are deeply focused on our community, and there are many ways to contribute. We are going to see that today, not just through code or pull requests. So you can join our forum, share what you've built with Penpot to inspire others. You can participate in events like the Penpot Fest, or like right now in our community hours sessions. So yeah, that's all for the overview.
Design contributions. Let's be honest, when you think open source, design might not be the first thing that springs to mind. For a long time, the open source world has been predominantly developer driven, and because of that, many designers have felt a little apprehensive. So, what are the difficulties? Not many designers are aware of its existence. There is a perception that open source projects are all about lines of code with little room for visual creativity or user experience and expertise. And designers' tools are not well integrated in open source. Traditionally, contributing to open source often meant wrestling with developer-centric tools like Git, for example. And for designers familiar with visual interfaces, this can feel like a challenging learning curve and a barrier to entry. And well, unclear and complex processes. Unlike code contributions, the pathways for design contribution in open source projects haven't always been, let's say, well defined. So you can ask yourself, where do I even start? So it's a problem that it's still to be cracked. These are valid concerns, and they've created a gap. But what if this gap is built on some misunderstandings or myths, like I like to call them? So, first one is, for me, the open source is only for developers. Well, this couldn't be farther from the truth. Open source projects desperately need design thinking for crucial UX, branding, illustration, and user research, for example. And without design input, many projects suffer from poor usability and aesthetics. Open source means no control over your design. Well, open source is about working together, but it's not free. It's not a free for all. So good projects have a clear rules, people in charge, and ways to make decisions. Your design's help is wanted, and what you do is usually checked and talked about nicely. Open source designs tools are inferior. Well, the open source software landscape has matured incredibly, and it's true that there is less budget, but there are tools like Penpot or Blender in 3D, for example, built on open standards, which are offering features that rival and sometimes exceed proprietary alternatives. And the collaborative in nature means that bugs can often be identified and fixed quickly by the community. Okay. If it's open source, you can build a career or business around it. Well, open source can be a massive selling point. It means transparency, reduced vendor lock-in, and fosters community. So we experienced this firsthand at the Open Source Africa event in Lagos. Open source isn't viewed as something idealistic, but rather as a means to advance your career. And the last, but my favorite one is open source design can mean working for free. Okay, while many contributions are voluntary, an increasing number of companies sponsor open source projects and even hire designers to work on them specifically. Plus, the skills and visibility gained can lead to paid opportunity. So this is related to the previous myths. So, okay, you are a designer and you are curious about open source. How can you actually contribute? What can you bring to the table as a designer? There are so many ways your skills are valuable. As a designers, we have a huge opportunity to impact open source project. We can improve UX and UI by redesigning interfaces and flows and help creating and maintain design system for consistency, for example, or even you can contribute with custom iconography and illustrations sets, brings projects to life, while applying user research and testing skills helps team better understand their audience. So you have a lot of fields to impact. We can also boost adoption by crafting clear documentation and onboarding, and even shape a project's identity throughout branding and visual design. Okay, but if you are interested in contributing to an open source project, the first step is to find and use that project communication channels. That could be a chat, a forum, a website, a Git repository, or anything similar. But the key is to establish that communication. So the first contribution is to say hi. Let's look at this in a better way with some examples of contribution from Penpot users. Okay. So here is our page of our community site. Penpot has natively integrated design tokens, and the community has contributed with a great creativity, leading to a steady increase in their adoption. So some notable contributions include a few UI kits for Penpot, Tailwind CSS-based theme with design tokens, conversion of Figma variables to Penpot, and a few of them. You can check it from here. Here is one example made by Laura. You can install it in Penpot and start using it right now. The first example I want to show you, the second example I want to show you is the contribution from canonical UX designers, Juan and Netsu Akar. During Hacktoberfest, they focused on enhancing Penpot's grid layout feature. So they provide, as you can see here, valuable feedback on the learning curve, configuration, naming, and particularly highlighting its use for table creation. So the Penpot team embraced this feedback, outlining plans to implement improvements like adding contextual information and refining the UI. So showcasing a collaborative effort to bridge design and code. Let's continue with a design contribution implemented in our latest release, focused on enhancing the invitation page empty state. It's a minor change, but this improvement proposed by a community member throughout GitHub, as you can see here, this effort aims to optimize the user experience when there are no pending invitations. Here he shared the link with the proposal in Penpot, and we implemented in the last release. Okay, and I will finish with this meta design contribution. This community-driven proposal aims to establish clear pathways for strategic and design contributions to Penpot, going beyond existing code or bug reporting, as you can see, inspired by other open source projects like Blender or WordPress. This contribution is very important to us because it's Penpot's own design community that wants to contribute and is proposing an initiative to do so. So we are currently working on that with the community, and that's why I want to use it as an example of an idea of how to establish communication.
After Juan's amazing talk, I'm gonna talk a little bit about the developer side of things, and I'm going to directly share a lot of pages and links and stuff because I think it's the best way to take a look at what we're doing at Penpot. So yeah, basically we know that in open source code projects, everything starts in a README, and this is Penpot's repository README. But I wanted to mention a talk that I really liked that I saw early this year at FOSDEM, which is called Beyond the README by Lorna Mitchell. And I highly recommend you to watch it or to go through the slides, because she highlights like how important the README is, but that is just the tip of the iceberg. So yeah, we're going to see like how this is so true. So this is our README, and we can take it like some kind of source of truth, because here at the very beginning we have links to all of the most important parts of our platform, not only through our code, but also to our website, to our YouTube channel, where you can get to know more about the code base, the technical parts, about the community, etc. Actually, if we go to our website, we can check that here in the top navigation bar, we also have a very nice, let's say, source of truth as well, because we have links to all of the places. So it's like you don't necessarily have to go to the repository itself. You can go directly to our website and you will get the same information. The next thing that I wanted to show you was our community standards GitHub page, which is also a common page to have filled, because it's a place where a lot of people go to check when coming to contributions. So we have a link to our README, but also to our code of conduct, which is something that we consider super important, our contributing guide, license, etc. So you have all of this information here as well. And about our contributing guide is very complete. We explain how to report bugs, and I'm going to show you a couple of examples. So we use GitHub issues when it comes to report a bug or maybe a feature request as well. But since those are public, maybe if you have like some kind of a private question, you can write to our support team. But mainly we use GitHub issues. And then for pull requests, we have a template that I'm going to show you as well for submitting pull requests. And we also explain here which are our commit guidelines, because we want like everything to follow the same convention. And I really like this part because it's really easy to see in the commit history, like all the things that every single commit do at first sight. So I really like this distribution, and I think it's quite cute as well. So yeah. And for example, this is a bug that was opened recently and that is very well explained. So it has like the steps to reproduce it, what's the expected behavior. And here, I want to show you that we also use Taiga to manage issues, to manage bugs and so on. And it's another tool that you may have heard about. And it's also open. So this is another way of showing you like how open and transparent we are, because we work directly through Taiga. This is what we use in our meetings and everywhere. So you can follow our development, what our teams are doing, just going through Taiga. This is an example of a pull request from an engineer of our team. And I think it was a good example of a really good pull request structure. So it has the Taiga ticket here, a summary, a nice video showing the problem that has been solved, the checklist, etc. And very important, you have to pass all our CI checks, including the commit message and the pull request title. So yeah, those are also checks. This is another example of an external pull request, which is also really nice. And I wanted to show you here that Sometimes when fixing a bug, you have to also make a change. Introduce the change that you have done in our changelog file. You can check it here in our changes file, and it's the very same thing that you can find in the dev diaries, just that we also show it here, so you don't, like, people don't have to necessarily go to the repository to check the changelog. So but yeah, it's here, and if you fix a bug or introduce a new feature, you also have to include it in that file. I wanted to show you also, if it comes to creating a pull request or just like starting coding and testing out Penpot, there is a guide to run Penpot locally, and that's the same guide that we use internally. Actually, I joined like some months ago, and this is the very same guide that I followed to set up Penpot. And when the first time that I did it, it was so easy. Like, I had it up and running in like, I don't know, less than 5 minutes. It was so easy. And like the most basic stuff is just to raise like all the Docker images that we offer. But depending on the bug or the issue that you want to work on, you can focus only on the part that you're interested in. And yeah, we have here like it's very, very detailed. And I know that it may seem like a lot repository centered, but don't worry about it, because we have our help center here. So all of the things that I've showed you before are also here. One of the things that I like a lot is the technical guide, because, for example, it even explains like all the data model, the infrastructure, all that information, and I think it's super useful to have it here, because it helps you a lot when it comes to knowing how to fix something or how to do something, instead of just going through the whole code base looking for that information, right? And yeah, what I have shown you before about how to install it locally, it's also explained here. So yeah, it's really easy to access. We also have here the community page. As I said before, our community is key for us, and there are many ways to contribute technically, let's say, that doesn't necessarily need to be through a pull request or touching code. So maybe you are product developer or product designer, and you have some kind of technical concern or question, you can ask it here, and it's also a way of contributing in from a developer perspective, let's say. So I wanted to show you like some examples here, like for example, this is a bug that you experience, or like how to use design tokens in a Node.js project, let's say. So those are technical conversations that are taking place in our community. But also, one of the things that I liked a lot when I joined was that we publicly talk about technical stuff that we discuss internally. And that's pretty amazing. For example, one of my favorite topics was this, like, it's time for Penpot to almost move away from the Doom, which basically is about rocketing performance on Penpot. And that's something that was discussed on September last year, and that is currently taking place. And yeah, I know there's a lot of text here, but the nice thing is that there were like a lot of excitement, a lot of people like asking or wanting to know more about how they could follow the implementation of this, because I know it's a way also of learning, of checking how we are doing things in a technical way, and participating as well. Like I don't know, like I've done a rendering test in the past and I use this tool. Have you tried it out? That's also a nice contribution. So yeah, and just to finish, I also wanted to show you that right now Penpot supports officially English and Spanish languages. But we offer also a lot of languages that, because the community is very proactive on this. So in order to make it more, to make it easier to contribute to our language support, we use a tool called Weblate. So you can check all the languages that we support, and you can contribute directly through that website. So you don't really need to make a pull request or change anything in the code directly. Just pick a language and add the missing translations. And for example, I wanted to share you how automatically the tool is integrated within our code base. So this is being done directly from Weblate. So yeah, I welcome you to contribute to our languages as well.